It is 4:30 in the morning, October 1968, in the Pequea Valley of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Eli Stoltzfus, a master carpenter, walks his 6-year-old son out to the shop behind the house. The boy is still in his nightshirt. The grass is wet under his bare feet. Eli lights the kerosene lamp. He places his largest chisel in the boy's small hand. He shows the boy how to stone the edge. The lesson lasts 7 minutes. The boy will repeat it 3,000 mornings before he is married. The chisel was made in 1892. Today is May 14, 2026. It is 4:30 in the morning. In the same shop, behind the same house, in the same valley, Eli Stoltzfus III has just placed his largest chisel in the small hand of his own 6-year-old son. The lamp is the same lamp. The stool is the same stool. The chisel is the same chisel. The chain has not been broken. Somewhere east of here, a man wakes up to an alarm. He does not know what his father did for a living. His son will not know what he does for a living. The chain has been broken for a long time. This episode is 25 lessons American fathers used to teach their sons, and one community in this country that never stopped teaching them.
The Amish are a people who chose to keep what the rest of America let go. There are 25 rules in this episode, drawn from documented Amish life across 4 centuries and a dozen settlements. Number 23 is what happens to a piece of wood when no one will ever see it. Number 11 is what a man says to his wife when he disagrees with her. Number 1 is what a father gives his son that is not money, not the farm, and not the trade. If what you are about to hear sounds familiar, if your father taught you any of this, or if you wish he had, we have collected 10 of the most important of these lessons into a small book called The Forgotten Father Code. 10 timeless lessons American dads taught their sons. The link is in the description. It will outlast the man who reads it.
Number 25 is the handshake. It comes from Eli Stoltzfus, a master carpenter in the Pequea Valley of Lancaster County in 1968. A neighbor walks to Eli's shop wanting a dining table. They name the wood, they name the size, they name the price. They shake hands. No paper, no deposit, no lawyer. 8 weeks later, the table arrives. The money arrives the day the table does. Hostetler's ethnography documents that in the Lancaster settlement, the handshake is the contract, the neighbors are the witnesses, the bishop is the bench, and the court of last resort is God. The American Bar Association reports nearly 1 in 3 U.S. business contracts ends in litigation. The Amish settle nearly none of theirs in court.
Number 24 is the start time. It comes from Christian Hochstetler, a masonry contractor in the Davies County settlement of southern Indiana, in 1995. Christian runs a crew of 7 men. He is on the job site at 4:45 every weekday morning. His apprentices arrive at 6. The foreman they are contracted under arrives at 7. Christian has already unloaded the mortar and counted the brick. Penn State Extension's research on Amish-owned construction businesses found the average Amish contractor works between 60 and 70 hours a week. Amish small business failure rates run near 5% against 50% for American small businesses overall. They work twice as hard and fail 10 times less.
Number 23 is the unseen back. It comes from Reuben Esch, a woodworker among the Nebraska Amish of Big Valley, central Pennsylvania, in 1976. Reuben builds a chest of drawers for a neighbor. The back panel is white pine, hand-planed, mortised, fitted as carefully as the front. No customer will foresee the back. Reuben's father planed it just as carefully. So did his grandfather. So did his great-grandfather before him. Crable's ethnography records the Nebraska Amish saying, "There are no shortcuts, the wood will not later show." Common Sense Media reports the average American adolescent now switches digital tasks every 19 seconds. The boy in the shop has worked on the same chest for 19 weeks.
Number 22 is the word. It comes from Sam Petersheim, a buggy builder in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, in 1963. Sam tells a customer the buggy will be ready in October. October comes. The buggy is ready. Sam does not explain. Sam does not apologize that the wheel hub took an extra week. Sam does not promise faster next time. Sam delivers what he said he would deliver, when he said he would deliver it. The Young Center documents that among Lancaster Amish craftsmen, the verbal estimate runs less than 1 week variance against actual delivery, across hundreds of agreements per shop per year. A 2023 Pew survey found 65% of U.S. adults believe most people cannot be trusted.
Number 21 is the barn raising.
It comes from Moses King, a blacksmith and farrier in the Walnut Creek settlement of Holmes County, Ohio, in 1958. A storm tears the roof off the Hostetler barn, 3 farms east. Moses arrives at sunrise with his 8-year-old son. So do 23 other men. They bring lumber, they bring tools, they bring food prepared by their wives. By Saturday evening, the barn is rebuilt. No invoice is sent. No invoice is expected. Hostetler documented this as the structural mutual aid principle that makes the Amish economy possible. The barn raising is not charity. The barn raising is contract, older than the country. The Surgeon General reports that 50% of U.S. adults now report serious loneliness.
Number 20 is the savings. It comes from Jonas Lapp, a harness maker in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, in 1955. Jonas tells his 11-year-old son, "A man does not buy what he has not earned, and he does not earn faster than he saves." Jonas keeps 3 accounts. The first is for the farm. The second is for the next child's house deposit. The third is the church aid fund, paid into every harvest, drawn on by no one but neighbors in need. Crable's research found Amish household debt averages less than 10% of equivalent non-Amish households in the same income bracket. The Federal Reserve reports total U.S. household debt now exceeds $17 trillion. The Amish settlement holds no debt to anyone outside itself.
Number 19 is the tool. It comes again from Eli Stoltzfus, the carpenter, on a winter morning when his son is 6 years old. Eli teaches the boy how to clean a chisel. Stones, oil, cloth, edge. The cleaning takes longer than the using. Eli says, "Tools outlast men, so a man owes the tool more care than the tool ever owed him." He hands the boy the chisel his own father gave him in 1938. Hostetler observed that traditional Amish hand tools commonly remain in active use across 3 to 4 generations, with documented examples of hand-forged chisels and saws still in working order after 80 years. Industry data shows the average American household power tool lasts 7 years before replacement.
Number 18 is the buggy. It comes again from Sam Petersheim, the buggy builder, who tells his apprentice that an Amish buggy is constructed in 400 hours and is expected to serve 3 generations of one family. Hand-bent ash, hand-stitched upholstery, brass fittings forged in the next county, hubs lubricated twice a year for 40 years, the lacquer touched up every decade. The Young Center documents that the Amish family buggy is the longest-serving daily vehicle in 21st century America. The Bureau of Transportation Statistics reports the average American car is now 11.8 years old at retirement. The average American is on their 8th vehicle by age 60. Sam's buggies are still in service from 1947.
Number 17 is the foreman. It comes again from Christian Hochstedler, the masonry contractor, who tells his teenage son, "On a job site there is one foreman, and you are not him. You arrive before he arrives. You leave after he leaves. You ask before you assume. You do the work he asks you to do, even if you know a better way, because his name is on the contract." The Amish call this principle yieldness, the willingness to set your own will down for the good of the work and the order under which the work happens. The Bureau of Labor Statistics documents the average American worker now holds 12 different jobs between ages 18 and 50. Amish men commonly work one trade their entire lives.
Number 16 is the ledger. It comes from Levi Beachy, the first man in his settlement to leave the farm for cabinet work, who runs a shop supplying RV factories in Elkhart County, Indiana, in 1989. Levi keeps his ledger in a hardbound book on the desk. Every invoice in, every payment out, every customer's name, every customer's home address. At year-end, he carries the book to the bishop's house for review. Penn State Extension found Amish businesses in northern Indiana operate with full transparency between owners and their church districts, a structural audit older than the IRS. The IRS reports the U.S. tax gap, the difference between owed and paid taxes, exceeds $600 billion annually. Levi's ledger has never been audited by anyone but the bishop.
Number 15 is the price. It comes again from Moses King, the blacksmith, who shoes the same farmer's horses for 37 years. He charges the same price in 1965 that he charged in 1958. He charges the same price in 1972.
He raises the price once when his apprentice tells him the iron has tripled. Crable documents that Amish craftsmen commonly serve the same families across 3 to 4 generations, with prices indexed to material cost rather than market opportunity. A 2023 Pew survey found 68% of American workers report no relationship of any kind with the customers they serve. Moses calls his customers by their first names, their father's first names, and the year their grandfather came to America.
Number 14 is the bishop's call. It comes from Jonas Lapp, the harness maker, on a January evening in 1955. The bishop walks to Jonas's house after supper. 2 of Jonas's apprentices have been seen in town buying a small radio. The bishop does not raise his voice. The bishop names the conduct. Jonas listens. Jonas answers for the shop and for his own household both. The matter is settled before the kitchen lamp burns down. Hosteller observed that Amish authority extends across work and home without distinction. The bishop knows your foreman, your wife, and your father by name, and judges all 3 together. The world rules and the family rules are not separate. They never were. The Amish know this. We have forgotten.
Number 13 is the threshold. It comes from Amos Yoder, a dairy farmer in the Saltillo settlement of Holmes County, Ohio in 1972. 40 Holsteins, 3 sons, 2 daughters, a wife who rose at 4:15 to start the stove. At sundown, Amos walks the 50 yards from the barn to the kitchen door. He stops at the threshold. He removes his black hat. He sets it on the peg. He scrapes his boots on the iron blade beside the door. He smooths his beard with the back of his hand. He waits 1 full second before he steps inside. His sons have watched him do this 2,000 times. The barn was the world. The kitchen is the family. The threshold is the hinge. Until now, you have heard 12 rules for the world: how a man works, how he keeps his word, how he carries himself among other men. The next 12 are for the family: the wife, the children, the table, the prayer, the grandfather's chair beside the stove, the Bible read aloud in German. The Amish teach both halves of this code in this order for a reason, because a man who has not mastered the rules for the world has nothing yet to bring home, and a man who has mastered only the rules for the world and learned none of the rules for the family has built a shop with no doorway in. The doorway is number 13. What follows is the household.
Number 12 is the presence. It comes again from Eli Stoltzfus, the carpenter, whose workshop sits 20 feet from his kitchen door. Eli's 6 children pass through the shop every day on their way to chores. His eldest son works beside him from age 12. His youngest daughter brings him coffee at 3 each afternoon. Eli is home by sundown for 19,000 consecutive evenings of his marriage. The American Time Use Survey reports the average American father spends approximately 7 minutes per day in one-on-one conversation with his teenage child. 7 minutes. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports 25% of fathers with children under 18 now work shifts, preventing them from being home at dinner. Eli has not missed dinner since 1962.
Number 11 is the wife. It comes from Menno Schwartz, the parochial school teacher in the Geauga County settlement of Ohio in 1981. Menno addresses his wife by name. He does not interrupt her. He does not raise his voice in her presence. He does not speak of her conduct to other men. When a household decision must be made, the school, the boy's apprenticeship, the visit to the brother in Indiana, Menno and his wife sit at the kitchen table and decide together. The Young Center documents the Amish marriage as a partnership. The husband leads, the wife counsels, but no significant decision is made without her consent. The American divorce rate is 45%. The Amish divorce rate has held at approximately 0 for 2 centuries.
Number 10 is the table. It comes again from Moses King, the blacksmith, whose family of 9 eats supper together every evening at 6 o'clock. The grandfather sits to Moses's right. The wife sits opposite him. The children fill the rest of the bench. Before any food is taken, the family bows in silence for 1 full minute. No grace is spoken aloud. Each person prays the German prayer in his own heart. Then Moses lifts his fork and the family eats. Crable documents that the silent grace is older than the American Republic, a Swiss-German Anabaptist practice from 1520 before there was an America. The American Family Survey reports only 41% of U.S. families now eat dinner together 3 times a week. Moses's family has not missed a single supper in 19 years.
Number 9 is The Apprentice. It comes again from Sam Petersheim, the buggy builder, whose son works beside him in the shop from the age of 9. The boy does not attend high school. The Amish leave formal schooling at the 8th grade. Instead, the boy works 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, beside his father, watching, holding the awl, planing the spoke, smelling the oil, learning by hand. Hostetler documented that Amish trade transmission occurs across thousands of unbroken father-son apprenticeships in any given decade. A 2023 Pew survey found only 19% of American sons over age 25 can perform any of the trades their fathers performed for a living. Sam's son builds buggies as well as his father by 16.
Number 8 is The Guest. It comes from David Miller, the mill operator who left Lancaster County for cheaper land in St. Mary's, Kentucky in 1994. David's house has 6 bedrooms. 3 are his children's. 2 are reserved for traveling Amish families passing through. 1 is reserved for the English visitor, the journalist, the academic, the curious neighbor. David's wife has fed strangers at her table almost every Saturday of her married life. Crable documents Amish hospitality as a structural obligation, not a personal preference. The household is open by default. The household is closed only on rare exception. The Surgeon General's 2023 advisory found 58% of U.S. adults now eat their evening meal alone most evenings.
Number 7 is The Grandfather. It comes from Reuben Esch, the woodworker in the Big Valley settlement of Pennsylvania, whose father lives in the addition built onto the south side of the house. The grandfather is 83. He still planes wood 3 hours a day. His chair beside the kitchen stove is the warmest seat in the room, and no child sits in it. When Reuben's youngest boy has a question about a joint, he asks Reuben, and Reuben asks his father. The chain of teaching runs through 3 men in one house. Crable describes the 3-generation Amish household as the structural unit of the community. A 2023 Pew study found only 10% of American children now live within walking distance of any grandparent.
Number 6 is The Debt. It comes again from Menno Schwartz, the school teacher, on his 40th birthday in 1994. Menno owns his house outright. His school salary supports 10 people, his wife, his 7 children, and his mother. He has never taken a mortgage. He has never taken a car loan. He has never carried a credit card balance. He has never asked the bank for anything. Crable's research found Amish household debt averages less than 10% of equivalent non-Amish households, even though Amish families are often larger and incomes are often smaller. The Federal Reserve reports the average American household now carries $104,000 in total debt across mortgage, auto, student, and revolving accounts. Number 5 is The Prayer. It comes from Levi Beachy, the cabinet shop owner in Elkhart County, Indiana, on a Friday evening in 1996. The shop closes at 6. The family eats at 6:30. At 7:30, Levi opens the German-language Bible on the kitchen table. He reads 10 verses aloud in Pennsylvania Dutch. The family bows. Levi prays for his neighbor whose son has cancer. He prays for his cousin in Lancaster whose roof was damaged. He prays for his own boy starting an apprenticeship Monday. He prays for the bishop. Crable describes this evening prayer as the central liturgical act of Amish family life. Pew Research reports only 27% of U.S. families pray together more than once a week.
Number 4 is The Ordnung. It comes from Amos Yoder, the dairyman who carries the threshold of number 13, on a Sunday afternoon in 1972. Twice a year, in autumn and spring, the Holmes County settlement meets to confirm the unwritten rules under which it will live. Amos sits in the meeting. So does every adult member. The bishop reads the rules: the clothing, the technology choices, the conduct of business, the conduct of marriage, and the church votes. No outside force can change these rules. No outside force tries. Hostetler called this the most successful long-running experiment in lived democracy in American history. The General Social Survey reports public trust in American institutions has fallen by more than half since 1970.
Number 3 is The Boy. It comes again from Christian Hochstetler, the masonry contractor, who has 6 sons. When a son misbehaves, Christian does not raise his voice. Christian does not lecture. Christian walks the boy to the work that needs doing and stays beside him until the work is done. The teaching is in the doing. Christian's father taught him the same way. So did his grandfather. Crable describes Amish discipline as nearly entirely behavioral. A son learns by working alongside the father in repaired conduct, not by being lectured in correct behavior. The Surgeon General's 2023 advisory documents that American adolescents now report parental criticism more frequently than parental presence as the dominant memory of childhood.
Number 2 is the house church. It comes again from Jonas Lapp, the harness maker, on a Sunday morning in 1958. The Lapps host the church this Sunday. The benches were delivered on Saturday. 23 families arrive at 7:30 in the morning. The service lasts 3 hours. The meal afterward lasts 2. The children play in the orchard. The men talk by the buggies. The women clean. The next service will be at a different family's house in 2 weeks. The Amish have never built a church building. The Young Center documents this practice as continuous since 1525. The American congregation today averages 60 members on Sunday morning, down from 140 in 1970.
Number 1 is the inheritance. It comes from Reuben Esch, the woodworker in the Big Valley settlement of Pennsylvania, the most plain of the plain, in 1976. Reuben has a son. His son has a son. Reuben's grandson is named for Reuben's grandfather, Reuben Esch the Elder, born in 1843. The chair the grandfather is sitting in was built by Reuben's great-great-grandfather, with hand tools that are still in the shop. The Bible on the table is in the same German script the family has read aloud since 1547. The boy is being taught to read by his father on a Sunday afternoon from the same page his father was taught from, the same prayer, the same hand on the same boy's shoulder. The chain is unbroken. The Young Center documents that the Amish retain approximately 90% of their children into adult church membership across generations. The American Family Survey reports 40% of American children now reach adulthood without spending 1 full hour with a grandparent. Every other episode in this series asked what we lost. This one asks what happens when you never let go. And it asks how a man begins the chain again when the chain has been broken for 100 years.
25 rules, 1 unbroken chain. A people who chose to keep what their fathers were given, so they would have something to hand to their sons. They are not better than us. They are simply less interrupted. We let the noise in. They closed the door. We let the world in. They built the threshold. We let the trade go. They kept the workshop. We let the table empty. They sat down to supper. We have collected 10 of these lessons, the ones every American father of every neighborhood and every name used to give his son, into a small book called The Forgotten Father Code. 10 timeless lessons American dads taught their sons. 10 chapters. Vintage-inspired design. Instant download. The link is in the description below this video and pinned in the comments. We made it for the man who watched this whole video and recognized something he had not heard in a long time. We made it for the father who wants to give his son something to hold. Pick one of these. Pick one tonight and teach it. Not all of it, not the whole code, just one. The chain begins again with you when nobody is watching.